Hello students, hope all of you are doing well. So today I'm going to start one new chapter, that is active and passive voice. So what is a voice? So voice is that form of a verb which tells us whether the subject does something or has something done to it. Now, how many kinds of voices are there? There are two kinds of voice, active and passive voice. Now, what are active voices? When the subject does something, we call it, the sentence is in active voice, like Karan bakes a cake. Now, passive voice means when something is done to the subject, like a cake is baked by Karan. So, in the first sentence, why it is an active voice? Why we are calling it an active voice? Because Karan here is the subject and he does something. What he is doing? He bakes a cake. In passive voice, what is done to the subject? A cake is baked by Karan. Okay. Now, there are certain rules for changing the voices, like the subject becomes the object and the object becomes the subject. Now, when we are changing the sentence from active voice to passive voice, what we will do always, we will always change the subject and object. Okay. Like the active voice, in the active voice, which one is the subject? In the passive voice, that will be the object side, that will come in the object side. And in active voice, what is the object? Okay, which one is the object? That will come at first. Okay, now Karan bakes a cake, this is an active voice. A cake is baked by Karan is in passive voice. Now another rule, we can change the voice of only a transitive verb. Now this is very important. Always you have to keep in your mind that we can change the voice only of the transitive verbs, like, which means the verbs with an object. Okay, and this verb which will have two objects, direct and indirect both, those verbs are known as ditransitive or detransitive verbs. Okay, so here I have used one sentence. As you can see, I eat a mango. So this entire sentence is an active voice and it can be changed into passive. Why? Because the verb eat has an object, that is mango. Okay, so a mango is eaten by me. Now the third rule, we use by in passive voice. Now this is another very important rule which you should always remember. In passive voice, we always use one by. Okay, like Charan sells oranges, it is an active voice. Now oranges are sold by Charan. So in every sentence, so far whatever sentences I have used, you can see in the passive form I have always used one by. Now this is very important. Okay, another rule is that only third form of the verb is used in the passive voice. Okay, while writing passive voice, okay, the verb which we will use, that should always be in the V3 form, that is past participle form and no other form. Okay, now another rule is that personal pronouns, okay, they change their form in passive voice, like I becomes me in passive voice, we becomes us, he becomes him, and she and they becomes her and them. Okay, now here you can see I have listed here the active and passive voice rules for all the tenses. So let's start with simple present. So in simple present tense, this we get subject, we get verb, we add s or es to the third person singular subject, and then we add one object. So when we will change the simple present to passive form, as from active to passive, we will use one is or am or are plus v3, like he eats a mango. So this entire sentence is an active voice. And when we will convert the sentence from active to passive, we will get a mango is eaten by him. Now we will do present continuous. So in present continuous, we always see subject, then am is are, then verb first one plus ing plus object. Now when we will convert this present continuous sentence into passive, what we will get? We will have to add one is or am or are, plus being plus V3. Like for example, she is plucking flowers. This entire sentence is in present continuous tense and it is in active voice. When we are converting the sentence, we will get flowers are being plucked by her. So it's a present continuous in passive form. Okay. So as you can see, I am changing the subject and object when I'm writing the passive. Then I'm using one by, and you are also watching here. I have used in all the sentences I have used in passive sentences. I have used here V3 form, past participles. Now come to present perfect. Now present perfect means we will get one subject, we will have one has or have, then V3 form. So when we will change the active present perfect tense to passive one, we will have one have or has, then been, then we have to add one V3. For example, he has written a letter. This is an active voice, and when we will convert the sentence into passive voice, we will write like this: a letter has been written by him. In simple past we get, what is the formula? First subject, then verb plus ed or V2 form you can say, then the object. Then when we will convert this sentence in active voice from active voice to passive voice, we will get what? We have to use one was or were plus V3. Like Karan helped Arjun, it is an active voice. Arjun was helped by Karan, it is in passive voice. Now past continuous. So in past continuous tense, we always have one subject, then we add one was or were, and then we use one the base form of the verb plus ing plus object or complement. Now when we convert this active voice into passive voice, means past continuous, that time what we will use? We use either was or were plus being plus V3. Okay, like I was answering the question. This is in the tense is in past continuous tense and it is in active voice, and when we are converting the sentence in passive voice, we will get the answer like this: the question was being answered by me. Now past perfect tense. So in past perfect tense, we get one subject, we get one had, then we add V3, then object. Now when we will convert the active voice, which is in past perfect tense, into passive voice, what we will add? Then we will add one had, then been, then V3. Like for example, I had taken food. This is in past perfect tense and it is an active voice. When we will convert this active sentence into passive sentence, we will get food had been taken by me. In simple future, what we have is the syntax, like subject, then will, then verb, then object. Okay, then when we will convert the simple future tense, which is an active voice, into passive voice, we will add one shall or will plus V3. Okay, like for example, she will sing a song. This is an active voice and it's in simple future. When we will change this sentence, we will get a song will be sung by her. So this is in passive voice. Now future perfect. Now future perfect, we have the syntax is subject, then will, then have, then V3, then object. Then when we are changing the future perfect into future perfect tense, which is an active voice, into passive form, what we will add? We will add one will or shall plus have plus been plus V3. For example, he will have written a letter. So this is in future perfect, but it is an active voice. Now we can change it into a passive one. Passive one, how we will change? A letter will have been written by him. Okay. Now students, you have to keep this in mind. For future continuous tense, for future perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, and present perfect continuous tense. Okay, these are not changed to passive voice. Now coming to the interrogative sentence. Now when we will get interrogative sentence in active voice, what we will do that time? Interrogative sentence means question. Okay, asking question. So when the sentence starts with do or does, or then subject, then V1 form plus object. That means it is an active voice. How we will change it? Let's see. So, do I like the strawberry ice cream? So this is an active voice. Now when we will change it to passive voice, we will use one is or am or are plus object plus V3 plus by plus subject. And plus, yes, question mark is very important since it's an interrogative sentence. Like, is the strawberry ice cream liked by me? Now when the question will start from did, okay, like did plus subject plus V1 plus object. So this is an active voice. Like, did I do my homework? Active. Okay, so when we will change this one, what we will use either was or were, then object, then V3 form, then we will add one by, then subject, and then question mark. Now, did I do my homework? It's an active voice. When we will convert this into passive voice, we will get, was the homework done by me? Now, imperative sentence. Now, imperative sentence means a sentence which expresses an order, request, command, etc. So, commands, okay, for example, like shut the window. This is an active voice. So, that time we have to use one let, okay. Let the window be shut. This is in passive voice. Now, so sometimes we do a request like, please bring me a glass of water. This is an active voice. So that time you have to use. See, here we have never mentioned you, but in the passive voice you can see that here I have used one you. So when we will convert this request, sometimes this request sentence, when we will convert from active to passive, we have to use one you. Okay, so you are requested to bring a glass of water. Now, passive construction with modals. Modals mean will, shall, should, ought, must, etc. So that time, what we will do? So in active voice, the syntax will be like this: subject plus modal plus verb space form plus object. Like, you should work hard. This is an active voice. This example is an active voice which is using one modal, that is should. Now in passive voice, what we will do? First we will write the object, then we will add one modal, then plus be, then we have to add V3, then by, then subject. Like, hard work should be done by you. Is that clear? So that's all, children. Hope you understood this entire video. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself.